Have you ever wondered what was really happening on Earth before the Great Flood? Was there a war between humans and the monstrous creatures that roamed the Earth? You might think this sounds like a myth or a dark fairy tale. But what if I told you there's ancient writing, hidden in the depths of history, that describes an epic battle between man and beast? A war created by none other than fallen angels? The Book of Enoch, an ancient text that was banned by many religious institutions, holds some shocking revelations about the pre-flood world. These aren't just stories of angels and giants. These are detailed accounts of an Earth where beasts, monstrous, hybrid creatures were unleashed upon humanity, created by the Watchers, the fallen angels who defied God's command. But did humans actually fight these abominations? Were these creatures a threat to our very survival? Let's dive into the ancient texts and uncover a story so chilling it was nearly erased from history. Before we begin, let me share a chilling account from an anonymous user on a popular conspiracy forum. I came across a story from my grandmother, something that's been passed down through generations in our family. She spoke of giant creatures that roamed the earth before the flood. She said her ancestors claimed to have witnessed these beings in their villages. Tall, terrifying figures who were said to have been made from both human and beast. The elders said they were the creations of fallen beings that walked among us. What if these tales weren't just stories, but memories of a long-forgotten truth? Could these stories be more than just folklore? Could they be the echoes of a time when humanity struggled to survive against the horrors of pre-flood monsters? It's time to find out. To truly understand the epic scale of this monster war, we need to go back, way back. Long before the flood wiped the slate clean, Earth was a different place. The world, as described in the Book of Enoch, was a land of giants, monsters, and abominations. It wasn't just the Nephilim, the offspring of fallen angels and human women, who were wreaking havoc on Earth. It was their monstrous creations as well. Imagine a time when the very fabric of nature itself was twisted by unnatural forces. The Watchers, the rebellious angels mentioned in the Book of Enoch, were said to have taught humanity forbidden knowledge, from weaponry to magic to the secrets of genetic manipulation. Some even suggest these angels began experimenting with animals, combining human DNA with that of beasts, creating abominations that haunted the earth. One eyewitness account shared on a historical Reddit thread reads, "My great-grandfather used to tell me stories of ancient times when men and beasts fought side by side against monstrous creatures. Some even looked like half-man, half-animal hybrids. He said the skies were dark with the sounds of their roars. He always said it was something ancient that caused the Great Flood, but no one ever really knew what it was." This story from a Reddit user is a modern echo of ancient accounts. It's as if the truth has been passed down through oral history, a warning from a time long forgotten. But what were these creatures exactly? The Book of Enoch provides some descriptions, mentioning how the Watchers created beings who were far beyond natural. Some were hybrid creatures with the appearance of giants and beasts, monstrous in size and strength. According to the text, they were as destructive as they were terrifying. It said these creatures were not only physically intimidating, but also mentally corrupted, their very presence altering the natural order. And the most terrifying part? They were created to serve the fallen angels, beasts meant to dominate and terrorize humanity. So, what happened when these abominations were unleashed upon the earth? We know from ancient texts that the world was filled with corruption and violence. The Nephilim were born, and the hybrid creatures spread chaos wherever they went. But the Book of Enoch doesn't just mention the existence of these monstrous entities. It hints at a much darker secret: a war. In the ancient pre-flood world, humanity was caught in a battle for survival. But this wasn't a simple fight of humans versus creatures. It was a war of the gods, a battle between heavenly beings who fell from grace and the human race they were meant to protect. The Watchers had their creations, their monstrous army, and they turned them loose on humanity. But humans weren't completely helpless. Some survived and they fought back. Here's a chilling piece of testimony shared by an ancient scroll, translated by modern scholars. The men of those days were strong, stronger than men today. They fought against the beasts and the giants with weapons that had been taught to them by the heavenly ones. The wars were bloody, the skies filled with fire and smoke. The earth trembled with the footsteps of giants. Does this sound like something straight out of an ancient myth? Or could there be truth behind the chaos that unfolded in those early days? Were these early humans really fighting giants and monstrous hybrids, creatures that had been altered by the fallen angels themselves? Many believe that the Nephilim, the giants born from the union of angels and women, were not just passive giants, but warriors on the front lines of this apocalyptic battle. In fact, some researchers speculate that the giants weren't only physical titans, but that they were used in a strategic war against humanity, designed to break the spirit of mankind. It's possible these creatures were not only physically imposing, but also mentally superior, crafted to psychologically control and manipulate human societies. As strange as it may seem, there are numerous accounts from people who claim they have encountered evidence of these ancient battles. The question remains, could there be physical remnants of this pre-flood war buried deep within the earth, hidden for millennia? From ancient ruins to myths passed down through generations, could they all be pointing to a single terrifying truth? One such eyewitness account comes from a recent excavation in the Middle East, where researchers uncovered what they claim is evidence of giant-sized footprints, much larger than any human could possibly have made. Archaeologists have debated these findings, but one researcher, Dr. Sarah Williams, states, "The size of the prints suggests something far beyond what we know as human. These could be remnants of creatures from a time long before our recorded history. Some of the local legends even speak of giants that once roamed these lands. Could these giant prints be remnants of the Nephilim or some of the other monstrous creatures described in the Book of Enoch? The implications of these discoveries could change everything we thought we knew about ancient history. And let's not forget the countless legends from cultures around the world that speak of ancient beasts. From the Sumerian stories of monstrous deities to the Greek legends of hybrid creatures like the Minotaur. These myths share striking similarities with the descriptions in Enoch's writings. It seems that the story of monstrous beasts terrorizing humanity may not just be myth after all. The Book of Enoch, with its detailed accounts of the Watchers, their creations, and the war that followed, offers an intriguing glimpse into a time when Earth was ruled by giants, monsters, and the supernatural. Many historians argue that the flood was a divine judgment, meant to wipe the Earth clean of these hybrid creatures and their fallen angelic creators. But the question remains, was the flood simply a result of humanity's wickedness? Or was it a necessary act to destroy the abominations that the Watchers had unleashed? The Book of Enoch doesn't just describe these creatures and events, it warns us. It tells us that humanity's ancient enemies may not be gone forever. Could the flood have been a temporary solution? Could these ancient horrors be returning in some form? Could we be facing a world where hybrid creatures, fallen angels, and ancient knowledge once again rise to challenge us? So, as we close this chapter on the pre-flood monster war, we're left with more questions than answers. Could the Nephilim and their monstrous creations still walk among us, hidden in the shadows? Are the stories of ancient beasts, mermaids, and marine spirits more than just folklore? And what role does the Book of Enoch play in revealing these forgotten truths? One thing is certain, the answers lie in the pages of ancient texts, in the ruins of the earth, and in the stories passed down through generations. The pre-flood monster war may have been erased from history, but the echoes of its horrors still resonate today. If you're as intrigued as I am by this mystery, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video. The secrets of the Book of Enoch are far from over. Let's continue exploring this hidden history together.